The quantum field generators hummed beneath the streets of New Shanghai, invisible to the naked eye, and more importantly, to the sophisticated scanning equipment of the Galactic Confederation vessel hanging in low Earth orbit. Director Chen Wei stood at her office window in the Terran Defense Ministry, watching the massive alien ship through augmented reality contacts that stripped away its stealth field. "They're scanning again," reported Colonel Santos, her chief of security operations. "The quantum diffusion grid is holding. All they're seeing is what we want them to see: scattered fusion plants, basic ion drives, and lots of primitive fission reactors." We nodded, satisfaction mixing with concern. For 30 years, humanity had prepared for this moment. Since the discovery of quantum manipulation technology in 2157, Earth's nations had made an unprecedented decision. They would hide their true capabilities from any alien civilizations they encountered. The massive ship above them belonged to the Galactic Confederation, a loose alliance of spacefaring species that had stumbled upon Earth during a routine survey mission. Their initial greeting had been friendly enough, if somewhat condescending toward what they perceived as a fledgling civilization taking its first steps into space. "Status of the Mars colonies?" Wei asked, though she already knew the answer. The quantum fields hiding humanity's extensive off-world presence hadn't failed in decades of testing. "Complete sensor invisibility," Santos confirmed. "The Confederation still thinks we're limited to a few small research outposts on the Moon, the automated mining facilities on Mercury, the Venus atmospheric processors, the Mars colonies with their 15 million inhabitants, all hidden." Wei's augmented vision highlighted the alien vessel's weapon systems, primitive by human standards, but still capable of devastating damage if they chose violence. The Confederation used concentrated plasma weapons and particle beams, never having discovered the quantum manipulation technology that had let humanity skip centuries of conventional development. A soft chime announced an incoming communication. "Director, the Confederation delegation is ready for their inspection tour," her AI assistant reported. "Time to put on our best primitive face," Wei said, straightening her deliberately outdated uniform. "Make sure all the facilities are running their cover protocols. Let's show our guests exactly what they expect to see. Nothing more, nothing less." The tour group waited in the ministry's reception area, 3 representatives of the Confederation's most powerful species. Ambassador Zixtal of the Arxer stood nearly 8 feet tall, their crystalline exoskeleton refracting light in complex patterns. Beside them, Science Minister Venra of the Kralik adjusted their environmental suit, their methane-breathing physiology requiring protection in Earth's oxygen atmosphere. The third delegate, Security Council Dax of the Iprin, remained unnaturally still, their cybernetic enhancements visible beneath translucent skin. Director Chen Wei, Zixtal's translator, rendered their harmonic speech into Mandarin. "We appreciate your world's cooperation with our technological assessment. The Confederation must ensure developing civilizations advance along appropriate paths." Wei bowed slightly, playing her role perfectly. "We are honored to learn from more advanced civilizations," she replied, the practiced humility hiding the fact that human quantum technology had already far surpassed anything the Confederation possessed. The inspection began with a carefully choreographed tour of Earth's most advanced facilities. They visited fusion plants running at half efficiency to appear primitive, spacecraft assembly lines, building vessels with deliberately outdated technology, and research centers struggling with basic antimatter containment, a problem humanity had solved decades ago. "Your progress is impressive for such a young species," Venra commented, examining a basic ion drive, "though your approach to propulsion technology is unusual." "We do our best with limited understanding," Wei replied smoothly. Behind her calculated smile, she thought of the quantum dry ships docked in the hidden shipyards of Mars, capable of crossing the solar system in hours rather than months. The deception continued through the day, each facility telling the same story: a promising but primitive civilization, nothing that could threaten the Confederation's technological superiority. Yet Wei noticed the subtle signs of suspicion in Security Council Dax's cybernetic eyes. As the tour concluded, Dax lingered behind their colleagues. "Director," they said quietly, "I find it curious. Your civilization's development pattern shows inconsistencies, small anomalies in the expected progression of technological advancement." Why met their gaze steadily. "The path of progress is rarely straight," Council Dax. "Each civilization must find its own way forward." The Security Council's cybernetic eyes were almost imperceptibly. Indeed, though the Confederation has found that civilizations developing unconventional technologies often face unexpected challenges, for their own protection, of course. The threat was subtle but clear. Wei maintained her diplomatic smile, even as she sent an encrypted quantum burst transmission to Santos. "Increased surveillance on all Confederation vessels. They're starting to ask dangerous questions." After the delegation departed, Wei stood again at her window, watching their ship rise through the atmosphere. Humanity's greatest advantage wasn't their technology. It was that no one suspected they had it. But how long could they maintain the deception? And what would happen when the Confederation discovered the truth? The quantum fields hummed beneath her feet, hiding humanity's true power from prying eyes. For now, the game of shadows would continue. But Wei knew that sooner or later, humanity would have to step into the light, and the galaxy would never be the same. Deep beneath the Martian surface, Dr. Maya Patel watched holographic displays of quantum field experiments with growing concern. The research facility, hidden from Confederation scans by layers of advanced stealth technology, represented humanity's true technological edge. But that edge was becoming harder to conceal. "Another breakthrough?" asked General Sarah Chen, commander of Mars Defense, studying the swirling quantum patterns. "And another discovery we'll have to hide," Maya replied, manipulating the hologram with practiced gestures. "We've achieved 400% efficiency in quantum energy extraction. The applications for shipbuilding alone could revolutionize space travel. But if we implement any of it, the Confederation would notice," Sarah finished, "especially with their increased surveillance." 3 months had passed since the initial inspection of Earth, and the Confederation's presence in the solar system had only grown. Their ships maintained what they called observation patterns around Earth and the Moon, supposedly to assist humanity's development. In reality, they were looking for something, searching for explanations for the anomalies they detected in human technological progression. Maya's quantum comlink chimed with an encrypted message from Director Wei on Earth. "Status report on Project Eclipse." "Proceeding as planned," Maya responded, bringing up secure schematics. "The quantum field generators are ready for full solar system coverage. If the Confederation decides to move against us, we can reveal our full capabilities at a moment's notice." The project represented humanity's contingency plan, a network of quantum field generators that could instantly drop the pretense of technological inferiority across all human territories. Ships, bases, and colonies would emerge from their quantum shrouds, revealing the true extent of human advancement. "New contact," Sarah announced suddenly, studying tactical displays. "Confederation science vessel, approaching Mars on an irregular trajectory. They're using some kind of new scanning technology." Maya's hands flew over holographic controls, adjusting quantum field parameters. "They're getting bolder. This is the 3rd deep scan attempt this week. Their conventional sensors can't penetrate our quantum fields, but they're starting to notice the distortion patterns." The Confederation ship passed slowly through Mars' orbit, its scanning beams prodding the quantum-shrouded surface. Below, 15 million colonists went about their lives in sprawling underground cities, their existence hidden from alien eyes. Mining operations, antimatter production facilities, and shipyards larger than Earth's largest cities, all concealed by humanity's most closely guarded secret. "Message from Security Council Dax," Sarah reported, her expression grim. "They're requesting permission to establish a permanent advisory presence on Mars, supposedly to help develop our primitive mining operations." Maya's quantum displays flickered with new data as she analyzed the Confederation ship's scanning patterns. They're not just looking for technology anymore. These scan patterns, they're designed to detect gravitational anomalies. They're looking for our hidden infrastructure. Can they find it? Not yet, but they're getting closer. Each new scan teaches them more about what they're not seeing. The quantum fields hide us, but they're starting to recognize the shape of the void. A priority alert flashed across their displays. Director Way's face appearing in secure hologram. The Confederation Council has convened an emergency session regarding Earth's development status. Our intelligence suggests they're discussing implementing supervisory protocols across the solar system. They're preparing to take direct control, Sarah said, her military training reading between the diplomatic lines. Not just control, Wei responded. We've intercepted communications between Security Council DACs and several militant factions within the Confederation. They're concerned about parallel technological development, civilizations advancing along paths they don't understand or can't control. Maya thought of the quantum technology labs scattered across Mars, each working on innovations that would seem like magic to the Confederation. What happened to other civilizations that developed differently? They disappeared, Wei said simply. Their colonies reduced to ruins by mysterious accidents or conflicts. The official records claim they destroyed themselves by advancing too quickly without proper guidance. How long do we have? Weeks, maybe days. The Confederation is accelerating their plans. They've already begun moving additional military forces into nearby systems. Sarah studied tactical projections, her augmented vision highlighting probable attack vectors. We could reveal ourselves now, show them our true strength before they're fully prepared. Not yet. We decided. We need to understand more about their capabilities and intentions. Maximum alert status across all colonies. Accelerate Project Eclipse preparations. When the Confederation makes their move, humanity needs to be ready. As the hologram faded, Maya returned to her quantum experiments, knowing each breakthrough had to remain hidden a little longer. Above, the Confederation science vessel continued its scans, searching for secrets in the void between conventional sensors. Sarah watched it through layers of quantum stealth. They think they're the teachers, coming to guide a primitive species. They don't realize they're dealing with a civilization that's already surpassed them. The question is, Maya replied, what will they do when they finally figure that out? The quantum fields hummed around them, hiding humanity's true face from the galaxy. But with each passing day, that mask grew harder to maintain. The time of revelation approached, and with it, perhaps, the first test of humanity's hidden strength. Admiral James Chen watched through quantum-enhanced sensors as the Confederation battle fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. 12 capital ships, accompanied by dozens of smaller vessels, their weapons powered but not yet active. A show of force disguised as a training exercise. They're not even trying to be subtle anymore, remarked Captain Diana Rodriguez from her station on the bridge of the TDS Nighthawk. The stealth vessel, humanity's most advanced warship, remained invisible to Confederation sensors as it monitored their movements from the shadow of Jupiter's largest moon. They've convinced themselves we're hiding something, James replied. They're right, of course, but not in the way they imagine. The Nighthawk's quantum drives could cross the solar system in minutes, its weapons could tear apart matter at the subatomic level, and its defensive systems could redirect energy attacks through dimensional rifts. Yet officially, humanity was still struggling with basic ion propulsion and simple deflector shields. New transmission intercepted, reported Lieutenant Kim from Communications. The Confederation Council has officially classified Earth as a species of special concern. They're citing unusual patterns in our technological development. James studied tactical displays showing the Confederation fleet's formation. Their ships were impressive by conventional standards. Massive engines, heavy armor, powerful energy weapons, but they were predictable, following the same technological path as dozens of other species. Signal from Director Wei, Diana announced. Priority 1. Wei's hologram appeared on the bridge, her expression grave. "Admiral, we've decoded more of the transmissions between Security Council DACs and the militant factions. They're not just concerned about our development. They're afraid of us. Afraid. They outnumber and supposedly outgun us. Their scientists have been analyzing our technological progression. Even with the quantum fields hiding our true capabilities, they've noticed patterns that don't match any known development path. They think we've discovered something they haven't, something that could threaten their technological superiority." An alert flashed across tactical displays. One of the Confederation capital ships had launched a spread of probe droids toward the outer solar system. Their energy signatures suggested advanced scanning equipment. "They're searching for our hidden facilities," James realized. "Not just on Mars and Luna, but throughout the system." "That's not all," White continued. "Our quantum intercepts indicate they're particularly interested in the asteroid belt. They've detected trace quantum fluctuations from our mining operations. The asteroid belt housed humanity's most secretive installations, automated factories that produced quantum-enhanced materials, experimental weapons platforms, and research stations pushing the boundaries of human knowledge, all hidden beneath layers of quantum stealth that made them appear as ordinary rocks to conventional sensors." "Admiral," Lieutenant Kim called out suddenly. "Multiple ships breaking formation. They're moving toward the asteroid belt." James watched as 3 Confederation cruisers accelerated toward humanity's hidden infrastructure. Their scan patterns were more focused now, more precise. They were learning to look for the gaps in conventional sensor readings, the places where things should be but weren't. "Dr. Paddle reports their new scanning technology is getting closer to penetrating our quantum fields," Wei added. "We estimate 2 weeks, maybe less, before they can detect the distortion patterns." "We should strike now," Diana argued, "while we still have the element of surprise." The Nighthawk alone cooled. "No," James cut her off. "We maintain the deception until we have no other choice." "Director Wei, what about Project Eclipse?" 5 days from completion. Dr. Patel has accelerated the final calibrations, but we need time to bring the entire network online." Another alert. More Confederation ships entering the system. These weren't part of the official battle fleet. Their energy signatures matched known militant factions within the Confederation. "They're not waiting for authorization anymore," James observed. "The militants are moving independently." "This is what happened before," Wei said quietly, "with the other civilizations that developed differently. Unofficial actions, deniable operations, tragic accidents, all before the species could reveal their full capabilities." The bridge fell silent as they watched more ships emerge from FTL. The Confederation was gathering its strength, preparing to protect humanity from its own development. "How many ships do we have ready?" James asked. 28 quantum drive vessels fully operational, another 15 nearly complete in the Mars shipyards. Ground-based defenses are at full capacity. Project Eclipse will give us complete coverage when it comes online. James studied the tactical display, watching the Confederation ships probe humanity's deceptions. 5 days, he said finally. "We hold the masquerade for 5 more days, but have all commands ready for immediate action. The moment they make a hostile move, they think they're coming to save us from ourselves," Diana noted, "to guide us down their approved path of development." "No," James replied. "They're coming to ensure we remain predictable, controllable. But humanity has never been good at following other people's rules." The quantum fields rippled invisibly through space, hiding humanity's true power for a little while longer. But the game was reaching its end. Soon, the galaxy would learn what happened when you cornered a species that had mastered the fundamental forces of reality itself. The Confederation ships continued their search, hunting for secrets in the void. Above them, unseen and unknown, humanity's hidden fleet waited. 5 days until Project Eclipse. 5 days until the masks could finally fall away. Dr. Maya Patel's quantum displays erupted with alerts as the Confederation probe penetrated deeper into the asteroid belt. Its enhanced sensors probed the void between rocks, searching for the impossible gaps that might betray humanity's hidden presence. "They're getting closer," she reported to the Emergency Council meeting. Her hologram joined dozens of others in the secure quantum network. Military commanders, colonial governors, research directors, all gathered to face the growing crisis. Director Wei's hologram nodded grimly. The Confederation fleet has positioned ships at key strategic points throughout the system. They're no longer pretending this is just an exercise. 3 days until Project Eclipse is ready, Maya added. But their new scanning technology, they're starting to see through our quantum fields. Not clearly, not yet, but enough to know something's wrong. Admiral Chen's tactical display showed the positions of Confederation forces. They've established a containment pattern. Classic encirclement formation. If they decide to strike, they'll target our known facilities first. The lunar bases, the Mars research stations, which are empty shells, Governor Santos of Mars Colony pointed out. Decoys hiding our real infrastructure. But the moment they attack those targets, our charade is over, Wei countered. We'll have to reveal ourselves or risk actual destruction of our facade facilities. New alerts flashed across their displays. Security Council Dax's personal flagship had arrived in the system, accompanied by ships bearing the marks of 3 different militant factions. Message from Council Dax, Lieutenant Kim reported. They're demanding immediate access to all human research facilities for safety inspections. They cite concerns about dangerous technological experimentation. Maya's quantum sensors detected subtle energy builds in the Confederation weapon systems. They weren't firing, not yet, but they were preparing. They're going to force the issue, she realized. They'll demand access to facilities they know we're hiding, use our refusal as justification for military action. Classic strategy, Admiral Chen noted. Create a diplomatic incident to justify predetermined military objectives. They've done this before, with other species that developed along unexpected paths. Through quantum-enhanced sensors, Maya watched Confederation probe droids mapping the asteroid belt. Their scan patterns were becoming more sophisticated, designed specifically to detect the quantum field distortions that hid humanity's most advanced facilities. New development, Governor Santos announced urgently. Confederation ships are appearing in Mars orbit. They're demanding permission to land technical advisors at all major settlements. The same thing is happening at Luna Base, another colonial administrator added. They're positioning for simultaneous intervention across the system. Maya's displays showed more ships emerging from FTL, not just Confederation vessels now, but ships from independent worlds, smaller species drawn by the prospect of seeing another dangerous civilization contained. Dr. Patel, Wei addressed her directly. Project Eclipse. Can we accelerate it? Maya studied the quantum field projections. The calibrations are delicate. If we rush it, we risk system-wide quantum field collapse. Everything would be revealed at once, but in a way we couldn't control. How many ships do they have in system now? Admiral Chen asked. 47 capital ships, over 200 smaller vessels, Tactical reported. Largest fleet gathering in this sector in 50 years. They're not trying to hide their intentions anymore, Wei observed. They believe they're doing this for our own good, protecting us from advancing too quickly, too dangerously. A priority alert cut through their discussion. Maya's quantum sensors detected power spikes from multiple Confederation vessels. They're activating weapons systems. Advanced targeting scans focusing on our decoy facilities. Security Council Dax is broadcasting, Kim reported. They're declaring Earth a crisis zone requiring immediate intervention to prevent technological catastrophe. Through the quantum network, Maya saw the grim determination settle over humanity's leaders. They had hoped to maintain the deception longer, to better understand the galaxy's politics before revealing their true capabilities. But the Confederation's fear was forcing their hand. Time to Project Eclipse completion, Wei asked. 71 hours, Maya replied. But the Confederation isn't going to wait that long. Admiral Chen. Wei turned to the military commander. How long can our quantum fields hold against their new scanning technology? At current rates of advancement, maybe 36 hours before they can detect our major installations, less for smaller facilities. Maya watched the Confederation fleet spreading through the solar system, their ships moving with practiced precision to surround humanity's known territories. They thought they were containing a primitive civilization barely capable of reaching its own moon. Instead, they were about to discover they had walked into the domain of a species that had mastered forces they couldn't comprehend. Director Wei, Admiral Chen said quietly, request permission to move our hidden fleet to primary defense positions, if they strike before Project Eclipse is ready. Wei was silent for a long moment, watching the Confederation ships through quantum-enhanced feeds. Finally, she nodded. Do it, but maintain quantum stealth protocols. If they force this confrontation, let them fire the first shot. Let history record that humanity revealed its strength not out of aggression, but in defense of our right to follow our own path. The quantum network hummed with encrypted orders as humanity's hidden forces began to move. In the asteroid belt, Maya's sensors detected the first microscopic fluctuations in the quantum fields. The Confederation ships were learning to see through humanity's deceptions. The shadow game was ending. Soon, the galaxy would learn what happened when you pushed a species that had outgrown your understanding of what was possible. The first shots came without warning. Confederation energy beams lanced out from a dozen ships, targeting the primitive defense stations around Luna. The attacks struck empty shells, decoy facilities maintained for exactly this moment. Multiple impacts detected, Lieutenant Kim reported from the Nighthawk's bridge. Confederation forces are launching simultaneous strikes against all known human military installations. Admiral James Chen watched through quantum-enhanced sensors as humanity's carefully constructed facade began to burn. Status of Project Eclipse. Dr. Petal reports 40 hours to completion, Diana responded. But we don't have 40 hours anymore. Confederation scan probes are achieving 60% penetration of our quantum fields. On Earth, Director Wei stood in the quantum-shielded command center beneath New Shanghai. Time to show them what they're really dealing with. Admiral Chen, you have authorization for partial revelation protocols. James nodded grimly. All ships, execute Pattern Omega. Maintain quantum stealth, but move to defensive positions. Weapons hot, but do not fire unless directly engaged. Throughout the solar system, humanity's hidden fleet began to move. Quantum drive warships slipped silently through space, taking up positions around Earth's vital infrastructure. In the asteroid belt, automated defense platforms powered up, their weapons still concealed by failing quantum fields. Security Council DAX is broadcasting, Kim announced. They're demanding our immediate surrender, citing evidence of dangerous technological experimentation that threatens galactic stability. How diplomatic of them, Diana remarked. They attack without warning, then demand we surrender for our own good. New alerts flashed across tactical displays. The Confederation fleet was launching fighters, hundreds of small craft moving to secure orbital space around Earth and its colonies. They still think we're primitive, James observed. They expect this show of force to overwhelm us before we can respond. On Mars, Dr. Maya Patel worked frantically to stabilize the deteriorating quantum fields. Director Wei, they're starting to detect our major installations. The fields won't hold much longer. Multiple targets locked onto Mars' surface, Tactical reported. They're preparing to strike our research stations. Those stations are empty, Governor Santos reminded them. But 15 million colonists live in the hidden cities beneath them. The decision crystallized in an instant. We can't risk civilian casualties, Wei declared. Admiral Chen, execute Emergency Protocol 7. Reveal the Mars colonies. Understood, James acknowledged. All Mars defense units, drop quantum fields. Show them what they're actually attacking. Across the red planet's surface, quantum fields shimmered and vanished. Suddenly, Confederation sensors detected massive cities stretching beneath the Martian soil. Advanced defense installations appeared from nowhere, their weapons already tracking incoming fighters. Confederation fleet is responding, Kim reported. Multiple ships breaking off attack runs. They're retreating from Mars orbit. Through the quantum network, James heard the shock in Security Council Dax's transmission. Impossible. These readings, the energy signatures, how long have you hidden this? Now they know we've deceived them, Diana said. They'll strike harder, faster, before we can reveal more surprises. She was right. The Confederation capital ships were already repositioning, bringing their heaviest weapons to bear on the newly revealed colonies. All units execute full defensive protocols, James ordered. Protect those civilians at all costs. The Nighthawk's quantum drive hummed to life as it emerged from stealth, appearing suddenly between Mars and the approaching Confederation fleet. Other ships followed, humanity's most advanced vessels revealing themselves one by one. By the void, a Confederation commander transmitted. Their ships. These energy readings are beyond anything we've recorded. Security Council Dax. Wei's voice cut through all channels. You attacked us without provocation, claiming to protect us from ourselves. Now you see a fraction of what we've hidden. The next revelation will not be so peaceful. You've deceived the Confederation, Dax responded. Hidden technology, secret colonies, weapons that defy known physics. For the safety of all species, you must be contained. The Confederation fleet opened fire. Energy beams and plasma torpedoes streaked toward the human ships, only to vanish into quantum rifts that appeared in their path. Return fire, James ordered. Targeted disabling shots only. Show them our capabilities without destroying their ships. The Nighthawk's quantum weapons activated. Beams of pure space-time distortion lanced out, cutting through Confederation shields like they didn't exist. Engines died, weapons powered down, but no ships were destroyed. Message from Dr. Patel, Kim reported. Project Eclipse is experiencing cascade effects from the quantum field collapse. It's accelerating. She can't stop it. Throughout the solar system, humanity's quantum fields began to fail. Not in chaos, but in a controlled wave of revelations. Hidden shipyards appeared in the asteroid belt. Massive energy collectors emerged from Mercury's surface. Cities became visible beneath Venus's clouds. By all that exists, Dax transmitted. Your civilization. You're not just more advanced than we thought. You've developed along a completely different path. We hid our strength not out of fear, Y responded, but because we saw how the Confederation treated species that didn't follow their approved patterns of development. Now you see what happens when you force our hand. The quantum fields around Earth finally collapsed, revealing the planet's true face. Orbital defense platforms appeared, their weapons tracking Confederation ships. Massive quantum generators became visible beneath the surface, powering technology that the Confederation had thought impossible. Stand down your forces, James transmitted to the Confederation fleet. You came to prevent what you saw as dangerous technological development. Instead, you've forced us to reveal technology beyond your understanding. Don't compound that mistake. Hours later, as the Confederation fleet retreated to the system's edge, humanity's leaders gathered again in quantum conference. They'll be back, Diana predicted, with more ships, better weapons. Let them come, Y replied. We kept our advances secret because we wanted to understand the galaxy first. Now we understand. The Confederation fears what it cannot control. But humanity has never been good at being controlled. Through quantum-enhanced sensors, they watched the Confederation ships depart. Their attackers had come expecting to find a primitive civilization in need of guidance. Instead, they had discovered a species that had looked at the conventional path of technological development and chosen to forge their own way. The age of deception was over. Now the galaxy would have to deal with humanity as they truly were, not as the students they had pretended to be, but as pioneers of a technological revolution that would reshape civilization itself.